America is in a very dangerous spot right now. I know. Sounds pretty scary. And justifiably so. How do I think this, though? Or why do I think this? Well, if you guys remember who the 45th president was, do you remember how many laws that individual broke? Do you remember what people did to counteract the fact that this individual was breaking so many laws? Right. This is how I know that America is in danger. Because we had somebody that came to the most powerful office in the land, split America into two, was racist as shit, was a child on fucking social media, broke the law at least once a week, at least once a week in his presidential term, and we did nothing. This is why we know that America is in danger. We have representation right now that claims to represent our best interests, who claim to want what's best for us and for America. And when there was somebody who was in office who was clearly not there for us, who was not there for America, they sat on their fucking hands. So every single person that allowed this asshole to continue to exist needs to go. Fortunately for us, they allowed some moron to become the 45th president of the United States. Why is that important? Because this person did the exact same thing that Clinton would have done had she won. What do you mean? They used their last name to get powerful positions, to help their friends and family to get more powerful positions, to give themselves more wealth, more power, more influence. Yep, that's exactly what he did. He went to the office, used his last name, got powerful positions for his family, his friends, those who he owed favors to, and then ensured that all this power and influence came to him. Illegally, lots of the time. So, is that something we're okay with? Would we be okay if Clinton had done it? Were we okay when Obama did it? Were we okay when George W. Bush did it? Were we okay when the next president does it? No. So what can we do to stop it? Well, frankly, we use number 45. The same person that all our representatives allowed to just do whatever he wanted to do with very little pushback. He was a bull in a china shop. Again, doing exactly what Hillary Clinton would have done. The difference is that he was so selfish and lazy and so such a rich, spoiled kid that didn't want to play by the rules that he broke so many of the laws, making it so easy to prosecute this one individual who admitted on air many times that he was doing something illegal. And we still have done nothing. Well, it sounds like maybe our representatives didn't want to do anything because, one, either he was playing their game, and if they made him stop, then they would have to stop. Two, he had dirt on them, so they couldn't do anything. Or three, the whole system's fucked. They weren't there to do anything in the first place, and they have no real power, so they weren't going to be able to do anything. Why would they even try? Okay, that's good. Then it's time for us, the citizens, to do something about that. We need to use number 45 as the highlighter, the orange highlighter that he is. We will prosecute on whatever it is we think is guaranteed to get him convicted. Because God knows we got a whole laundry list of shit we could choose from. We can just use the laundry list. He's bound to get convicted on one of those, right? But the nice part is that this selfish, manipulative, greedy piece of shit will not simply go away, and we need to use that to our advantage. So prosecute him, get him convicted, Then you give him the offer that we've been given for generations. You can go do this time. You can go serve 274 life sentences. Or you can reveal this stupid game that you politicians are playing, that you started playing horribly, but you were allowed to because so many other people are doing greedy shit as well. Give us a little bit of that information and we'll make this deal with you. Oh, you know that motherfucker's gonna sell people out. Without a doubt. And as soon as those dominoes start falling, they're just gonna keep going and going and going. RICO, I believe that's the way to do it. Oh, and we could clear them out. Oh my God. We would allow this person who promised us that he would drain the swamp to be the reason why we were able to drain that fucking swamp. Wouldn't that be amazing? Wouldn't that be the most patriotic thing we could do to ensure that the office of the presidency doesn't get to turn into some kind of fucking dictator where somebody gets to be elected and suddenly they're just too far above the law to have any kind of punishment? I say hell no. I say we need to make sure that whoever tried that would be, I don't know, what do they do with us? Made an example of, to ensure that whoever comes next. So when Tuk Tuk wants to run in 2024, he'll have that little voice in the back of his head being like, ooh, this could be bad. Maybe I don't think that's worth it. Maybe the amount of power and money that I might be able to earn isn't worth the fact of having 230-something life sentences. Pass. I'm good. Because that's, after all, what the judicial system is all about, right? Is to dissuade people from doing bad things. That's what they do with us, right? If you were to commit a horrible crime, they would hold you up on that stand and that judge would say, you are going to be an example. We're making an example out of you. Okay. Why don't we ever make examples of the people that are actually supposed to be the examples? Oh, is it because they're part of this weird cabal at the top where everybody's nefarious and they're doing shit that's manipulative? So if they sell out one of the people and they come down here into our justice system, then suddenly they're going to fucking chirp like a bird and that whole system's going to come crashing down. So what they do is they set up a different system and then they make sure that when you go to jail, well, you don't go to our jail. You go to their jail. The nice one with good pillows and like room service, that kind of stuff. That way, even though you're getting punished, you're still comfortable enough that maybe you won't sell out the whole game. Because if you do, well, then you might be thrown back to, the real prison. And we're okay with it. Some of us are even going to defend it and say, well, no, Trump's allowed to because he was a good American. He's a true American. He wanted... No, fuck you. Trump was not a good American. Trump is not a good American. He's an American. Yes. Without a doubt. Yes. A good American? I don't think you could be much worse of an American. I don't think after killing or leading to the death of over 500,000 Americans that you could be considered a good American anymore. I don't think you could be a good American if, while trying to seek out the highest office in the land, you start off by just completely shitting all over an entire people, saying that all Mexicans are... Yep. Well, going off of your thing, that means that all politicians are horrible pieces of shit that would gladly sell your children, your innocence, your house, take your money, take your rights, take your freedoms, and then say, you did nothing for me. Oh, yeah. But we could fix it. It wouldn't be hard. I'm willing to bet that there are lawyers out there right now that would be chomping at the bit to make their name on this case. Imagine cleaning out that swamp. Drain that motherfucker. Oh, yeah. But don't stop at Trump. That shit's Democratic. That shit's Republican, Libertarian. It doesn't matter. I'd be willing to bet that you're going to take out about 95 to 98% of those representatives. Wouldn't that be bad? That would make America, like, worse, because then we wouldn't have any representation. No, dummy. We don't have the representation now. Even though their seats are filled, we don't have representation. Having them not fill those seats is actually way better. Way better. Because now we have people that now we don't have people that are acting against our best interests. Now it's just nothing's getting done. And frankly, that's about the best we can hope for when it comes to Congress, when it comes to the representatives. So, but then we would get to choose. And instead of listening to these fucks who are going to be more than happy to tell us exactly who they want us to vote for, we have the opportunity to vote for who we would like. Who do you want? Who represents you? And unfortunately, you're going to have ridiculous people like Marjorie Greene, who is just a terrifying individual. Like, man. But you do have the opportunity to have Cori Bush. I want to even say AOC. I mean, basically, you could just say the squad, but definitely Cori Bush. Last thing I heard about her, she was camped out to fight for the rights for people not to get evicted during the coronavirus pandemic. So someone who represents people, someone who is elected to a high position, who decided that I am now going to step down from my pedestal to go out onto the street to make it known that this is what will happen if people get evicted. Made a statement, and it worked. That is a good representative. That is the example that every representative should be following. But instead, then you have the fucking people that are representatives that are defending what happened on January 6th. Frankly, let's just put it out there. If you participated in January 6th riots, if you were one of the people that thought it was a good idea to go to the Capitol trying to make your voices heard, you are a terrible American. You clearly don't understand that there's an entire system set up for you to do just that thing, for you to make your voices heard. So you can blame your representatives who didn't allow you to know that you could do that, who told you instead that you had to go there and use violence to make your voices heard. Well, you dumb fuck. Am I allowed to go to your house and violently tell you what to do? No, that would be illegal. Really? I'm glad you can see it when it's your house. Ugh. And someone lost their life. Someone that could have contributed to their family, to their community. Somebody that had more life to live, more to learn, more love to give. But because she signed up with the group that said, no, it's okay for us to be the violent mob, she's not with us here today. Was she forced into going there? No. She went there freely of her own, well, potentially freely and on her own. But and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that anybody lost their life. It's more unfortunate how after the Capitol Police had to stand there and stand between those who wanted to destroy democracy and democracy itself, they had no support. Once again, there were people who were fighting for America, who were literally the last line of defense before an angry mob of people got through to destroy the American government. And as soon as it's all over, there's stupid representatives who are coming out and being like, well, if you take a look at the fucking videotape, that basically it's like the tourism on any day. Great. I'm glad you think that. That means now, when everything opens back up, I get to go there and it'll be a normal fucking day, right? Right, guy who's got a leather strip going across that's either his girdle or a gun? Oh, like any other fucking day. I get it. But it's because it's your side. Not that it was any other day, because you were crying like a little... Cori Bush is an amazing representative. And I don't know anything about her. I don't know about her personal life. Based on that one fucking act, I can tell you that she is a great representative. The end. AOC, she makes headlines a lot. I want to say that she's a good representative. Again, I don't know for sure. But she seems to be making more waves than everybody else. The fact that both Democrats and Republicans seem okay to attack AOC shows me that she's probably representing us, the people. Because Republicans are there to represent the fucking corporations. Their job is to make you believe that you don't deserve more. You're not worth more. You need to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Let these motherfuckers who already have way too much, they can keep going. You, on the other hand, you need to exercise restraint. You need to realize that if there's something you want, you have to earn it. And to earn it, you have to make money for these top dogs. Then when they decide that they've had enough from you, then you can start making your own money. The Democrats, on the other hand, they're the party you go to when you don't agree with the Republicans. They still work for the corporations, but their job is to make you feel supported. So when you have something to bitch about, they're the parent that you can go to and complain. But instead of doing anything about it, they're just going to go to the other parent, talk about how you were bitching and complaining, and now we have to make it look good. So I'm going to oppose you. I'll come up with like a budget plan, and I'll set it at $3 trillion. And then before I even talk to you, I'll knock it down. I'll knock it down to like something manageable, something we're both kind of okay with. But that way you can knock me down even further. You'll be helping your corporate sponsors, who are also my corporate sponsors, but I'll also be making it look good. I'll make it look like the Americans have just a little bit of representation. Not enough to get anything they want. Just enough to see that there might be someone trying on their side. That's it. That'll make them happy. Ta-da! And they try and make everything so fucking complicated. All the tax laws, all the bullshit. And the idea is that the Republicans get to pull this way, and then the Democrats get to pull just a teeny bit, and then the Republicans pull this way, and the Democrats get to pull back just a little bit, and then they pull this way, and eventually we're just going to be so far right that the left side, the actual liberal side, no longer exists. That, nope, now it's either you're a moderate to, hardcore fucking Republican of just, I don't matter, I'll work for whatever, let me do what I can to be better. But imagine if we just had like common sense rules. If instead of it being where the Republicans get to keep pulling, tax cuts for the rich. So now we're at the point where the rich don't have to pay any fucking money. So who pays for everything that benefits the rich constantly? You. Who pays when a police officer decides to shoot somebody and gets found guilty and has to settle? You. What do the wealthy people pay for? Bunkers and advertisement campaigns that'll get you to spend more of the money that you're allowed to keep with them. Well, that's a great system. I don't think we need to improve it in any at all. Matter of fact, just take my money, corporations. Just send me what you think I deserve every once in a while in one of those like cool little crate packages. That's the way we should do it. Because frankly, we're American. We don't deserve any fucking choices. But yeah, if we just said, hey, guess what? Everybody that's an American person, whether you're a corporation or not a corporation, you pay 25% tax. No, because then they can't obfuscate everything and try and make it a weird game that they can just distract us and make it so confusing because now they're paying 8% here but 10% on this other kind of tax that's close but it's a different name, and then there's 5% here and then 10% on this other kind of tax and 30% over here, and just, don't worry about it. We're here to represent you. We'll make sure that the rich don't get away with too much. Yeah, no, bullshit. Turns out you're letting the rich get away with everything. But if we just came out with a common sense law that said, no, taxes are at 25%, then when you have the Republican and Democrats coming to fight in front of us, they'll be like, well, we think the corporations are paying too much. They should only pay 20%. Well, yeah, but I pay 20% or 25%. Well, yeah, and if they pay 20%, now you have to pay 30%. Well, yeah, but that's not something I'm cool with. Okay, well then we'll put them down to 15% and then you can be up to 27%? No. Everybody at 25. You want to be a corporation in America? You want to make all the money off the Americans that now have a little bit more because we're not getting paid or taxed at 40-something%? Then sure. But you have to pay 25%. Done. Now we don't have to fight. Now we don't have to do this weird, confusing line pull. Instead, it's 25%. Done. No bylaws, no little tiny writing underneath that. No, everybody pays 25%. Ta-da. But we can't have that talk. Because on the Republican side, they're going to say, well, no, you're not helping the corporations. If they have to pay 25% tax, they're really just going to raise the prices on stuff. So you may not have to pay money in taxes, but the rich are still going to make you pay by raising the prices. Then they're going to pay you less. Well, what if we make them pay us more? Well, then they'll charge you even more. Doesn't matter what you do, those wealthy, manipulative assholes are always going to charge more and more and more and more to make sure that you are always paying the bill. Oh, so then you're saying that we need to somehow regulate these companies? Because you always hear it on Fox News where they're like, no, they're just going to, it'll be inflation, and then they're going to destroy the economy. Oh, so you're saying that the wealthy manipulators, when they have control, they're willing to run this whole thing off a cliff to fill their own bank accounts. I get it now. We need to regulate these pieces of shit. Thank you, Fox News. Well, it's not really Fox News. It really should be called Fox Knows Better Than You. Because you don't go there to learn the news. You go there to learn what to think. What are you supposed to think right now? Well, here's Mr. Potato Head, and we'll tell you exactly how you're supposed to feel in just a moment. And I wish it wasn't so popular. I think it's hilarious that there is a billionaire who pays millionaires to come out and talk to hundredaires. And the idea is that Tuk Tuk is the bitch of someone who's much bigger. This much bigger guy is the bitch of someone who's much bigger. And then you go down the bitch chain and you eventually get to the viewers, who are told exactly what to think, how to think it, how to phrase it. You're not a sheep. You came here for me to tell you exactly what to think. And now when anybody tells you not, or that you're wrong, say that they're being a sheep. They're being socialist. They're Marxist. They're all these things that are words and labels that don't really apply to who they are. But they're key words that you must use because it will show that you are in fact the sheep. That you think that... No. We'll end it here. It's just crazy. We could do so much better. We deserve so much fucking better. But our representatives aren't going to do it. We can't wait for them to do it. Because just like when Trump was in office, they're going to allow it to happen. So get them out. Number 45. Use that orange highlighter. Show us all those shitty leaks within that swamp. And let's drain this motherfucker. Thanks for your time.